Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 33 of the Computer Business Marketing Show. Our show today is brought to you by TechSite Builder. TechSite Builder is a hosted website builder that allows you to quickly and easily get a clean and professional website up and running for your computer or tech-focused business. Save time and frustration with TechSite Builder. Learn more at techsitebuilder.com. It's also brought to you by Computer Business Breakthrough. Computer Business Breakthrough is an online training program where you can learn how to escape the grinding break-fix mindset of cheap clients and feast-famine finances so you can focus on becoming a truly sought-after expert in your field. Check it out at computerbusinessbreakthrough.com. On today's episode, we have Stetson Blake on the show to talk about Facebook groups. What's the best way to grow, nurture, and engage with a Facebook group? And how can starting a group help your computer business? Plus, we'll discuss the 3 best marketing tactics to use in 2018. All that and so much more coming up right now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Computer Business Marketing Show. If you own or work in an IT services business, this is the place to be to learn how to get more clients, keep them happy, and grow your revenue. You can watch, download, and or subscribe to all show episodes at computerbusinessmarketing.com. You can also catch our live stream on Facebook right now, every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Just be sure to like the TechSite Builder Facebook page, click on the following tab, and then select See First, so it'll jump to the top of your Facebook feed whenever we go live. All right, guys, I'm excited today to have Stetson Blake on the show, and he is going to be talking to us about Facebook groups. I'm going to be chatting with him. He's got a couple, very popular Facebook groups that get a lot of engagement, and so I'll talk to him about how he did that and just some of the trials and tribulations of administrating a Facebook group. And I have my own Facebook group that I've been administrating as well. So we'll kind of trade war stories and talk about the potential for maybe starting your own Facebook group and how that might help your business or help some other parts of your life if you are so inclined. So welcome, Stetson. How you doing?
Hey, doing great. How about yourself?
Excellent. Can't complain. You're up in Ohio. I'm in DC, and so we were just talking about the weather and how it's starting to get cold.
Yeah, East Coast unite.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's fun.
And I know some of the folks who are listening in Australia are getting the opposite, so that's nice. Lucky you guys.
Very nice.
Yep, we're just getting ready for the holidays and all that here. So I wanted to have you on because I first ran into you, through your Facebook group, and that is, what is the name of the group?
It's kind of a mouthful. It's IT/MSP entrepreneurs.
Okay. Yep.
So.
And that's a great group title, great idea. So folks who are any kind of consulting or MSP or computer repair kind of fits everybody who is in that entrepreneurial kind of space. So that's cool. And then you have another group. What's that one called?
Right. So the other one this is an IT support group, which you might recognize as kind of a nice inside joke, I guess. On the IT Install Nightmares page, you'll see frequently, if people ask for support, they go, "This is not a support group. This is not a support group."
Right.
So I got tired of it. I made a support group, and now I comment every time, and I'll say, "No, but this is an IT support group," and I'll tag it. So it's really good discussion in there as well.
So, so let's just talk a little bit about what those 2 groups are, like what the purpose of them is.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
It's kind of obvious by the title, but if you kind of just want to give in your own words what the purpose behind each of those groups is.
Right. Yeah, sounds good. So IT MSP Entrepreneurs was a group I made about a week ago, or not a week. I'm looking at my calendar. A year ago. I hope it was a week ago. That'd be great growth. About a year ago. Kind of for guys like me, I'm sure everybody has a story. They were the IT guy for their family, something like that. Then you get into the professional field, start working a little bit, and start taking on business customers. So I wanted more information. I'm a noob. I'm still a noob. There's always stuff to learn. So it's kind of an offshoot of that IT install, mostly memes, right? There's a lot of funny stuff on there. But I just kind of wanted a place to ask more about how do you guys do things? How do I deal with this weird issue or this client issue, things like that.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
turned out really well.
Yeah, that's great. So you're kind of scratching your own itch.
Yeah,
there.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I
Which
mean, that's
makes
the
it a little
reason
easier.
I started this podcast, and most of the things I started was because, I didn't see any good resources for me.
Yeah.
So I thought, hey, I'll create one, and then maybe it'll be useful to me and other people. And awesome.
Yeah, I'm all about it. Yeah.
So before we get into your experience administrating those groups and stuff, let's
Sure.
get to know you a little bit. So tell us a bit
Sure.
about your background and what you're doing now, and a little bit about the business that you're starting.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got into IT about 5 or 6 years ago. I went to just regular community college. I didn't really know if I was going to go to college, but I knew that I had an interest in IT. I had actually gone to vocational school for IT. Really liked it, but didn't have much direction. So went to community college, whatever. Studied network engineering, which I found I wasn't really even sure what that was when I came upon it, but did really well. And then I started working for a smaller ISP, right? Worked there a couple years, moved into a university environment. I worked up at the University of Dayton, and now I'm working for a utilities company doing some cool network engineering stuff. Big Cisco guy. I've got my CCNA. I love networking. So that kind of gets into my side business a little bit. So I started. It's called Helios IT Services, and it's kind of funny. I stole our name from one of the routers at work at my first job. So we had two I guess you could call them D-slams or something, but we had Hyperion and Helios.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought the Greek whole theme was really cool. So I stole that. I've been getting more and more into that, trying to be the guy for network engineering, kind of build that out. Kind of felt I found as I was telling you earlier, a lot of my customers have been MSPs that are looking for some deeper level knowledge on okay, I'm doing BGP here, or stuff like that. So it gets technical and deep, and it's a lot of fun. So.
Very cool. Yeah. Yeah. So we were talking before the show about that, how it's actually a good move if you're a specialist in a certain area of IT. You're positioned great to be a resource for other IT business owners and other MSPs.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a great business to be in. A lot of folks that I've had on the show are in the space where they're serving other IT business owners.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I'm doing, and that's what a lot of other folks are doing. Because these MSP and computer repair shops are kind of trying to be everything to everyone, right? They get a client in,
jack of all trades,
IT
absolutely.
needs, and then and they have a bunch of different stuff going on, and you want to be able to be the resource for them, but you can only know so much, right? And you can only hire so many people.
Absolutely.
Before you need to bring in a specialist or a subcontractor or a consultant or something. And so that's a good space to be in for sure. So what have you done so far to get the word out about your business and that kind of
Yeah, so I actually started probably about 2 years back, but I was never real serious. I got serious in the last couple months. But I started with Craigslist. It was okay. Craigslist, I feel is kind of a dirty word. People hear that but it was okay. It was good to kind of build up some reputation and stuff. But lately, I've been doing a lot of work on Upwork, which I used to stay away from as well. Almost another dirty word. Upwork, you think it's going to be this cheap, but I found some really cool stuff on there. I'm working with a client from Nebraska right now. I got a guy in California, New York. It's really cool. So mostly things all right, we're going to be replacing this firewall, or how should we design this new network we're coming in.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know you could do that through Upwork, do IT services.
Yeah, I didn't really either, but I kind of made it work out. And a lot of companies, they'll not have, they won't have a dedicated network guy, but they'll have Cisco gear. So I'll usually work maybe with one of their technicians. And we'll log into the switch, and I'll show them kind of basics, okay, this is how this works. This is how you show everything. So it's a little bit of implementation and training. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean that I had success as well when I first started on Craigslist and Upwork, actually.
Yeah.
So
that's
I was
awesome.
doing WordPress development and web development and stuff, and I mean that's a great place to go when you don't have clients and you need to kind of
Yeah.
build up a base quickly
Oh, absolutely.
for free, you know. And what I found with Craigslist is if you are in a niche, like a very narrow service niche, and you post stuff on there, I was surprised. There are business owners, CEOs that are looking at Craigslist for stuff.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and
There's
if,
Yeah, same experience on Upwork. It's
yeah,
I found clients. I'm like, why in the heck are you on Upwork right now?
right.
But it's been a great opportunity, honestly.
Yeah, so I definitely don't dog either of those places, especially for folks who are getting started. Um, as long as you're strategic and you can you can sniff out the folks who are going to be cheap or aren't serious.
Yeah.
So that's good. Excellent. Awesome. So let's talk about the Facebook groups. So you said you started the IT MSP Entrepreneur Group about a year ago. And I don't remember when it was early in the year when I joined, and I just noticed that the group was growing very quickly. And what are you up to now as far as membership?
I think it's somewhere around 1700. Let me
Yeah.
look. Yeah, it's 1696 on ITMSP, and it's got a few requests. And
Very
then
cool.
I think IT support groups actually like really similar, about 1700. Yeah, 1732.
Very cool. I'm going to put a link here. There'll be a link in the show notes, and I'm also putting it in the video chat here. So that's pretty good growth. I mean, in a year to get 1,700 members is really good. What are some of the things you did to try to bring members in?
Yeah, definitely. I can speak to that. So a lot of the stuff I would almost call not black hat, but frowned upon. So the ITMSP group came about. I'd made a topic on the IT install nightmares page, and this is I don't know when they implemented groups, but it's just insane how many different. There's a wealth of knowledge, like anything you want. I'll see stuff I don't know about. I'm like, okay, join just to figure out what it's all about or whatever. But I would post a link to the page on other like related groups. So like AV, I think there's like AV installs or something like that, or like there's a lot of like cable technician groups, which sometimes intersect a lot of IT guys there. So really, I just try and find where my audience hang out, and I'd make a post like, "Hey, I found out about this really great group. Join right here," which
Nice.
might have not been like the best tactic. I did get called out at times,
Yeah.
but I just kind of played damage control. Like, yeah, you caught me. It's my group, but there is great great discussion
Great
here.
stuff there. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things like better to ask for forgiveness than ask permission and just
Yeah.
do it. I mean, what's
Yeah,
the worst
that's
that can happen? They're going to ban you from their group.
Yeah, that's almost true.
I mean,
And I see a lot of parallels to like I'll read about even Reddit when they were first coming online. They I think they made all of their own content and kind of upvoted it. It was kind of like fake, which we didn't like create our own content or anything. But I'm a fan of the I guess like grassroots type growth.
yeah, definitely. Cool. Yeah, I think I mean that's the best way to do it, I think, is go to a similar place and say, "Hey, there's another similar place that
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And the cool thing with Facebook groups is they don't have to compete because you could be a member. I could be a member of all these groups at the same time. It's not
Oh,
like I have to
absolutely. You
choose
get
one or
information
another.
from all of them. Yeah.
And that's
There's great. Yeah.
That's why I don't mind, you or anybody else coming in, talking, saying, "Hey, I've got this group going on. Check it out."
Yeah.
If it's related, I mean, if it's not related, then that's another
Sure.
thing. But if
There's every group's got I think a unique perspective on things.
right,
So that kind of like grassroots almost black hat was I think really essential to getting it up in the beginning. But I think the second piece, or maybe even a bigger piece, is seriously administrating it and having entrants. So on ours, we just have like some basic questions like, why do you want to join this group? How'd you find it? Which is really helpful. I'll generally people that answer the questions, like I'll hit accept immediately. I'm really lazy too. Like I let them build up. I'm like, okay, I'll hit accept like when I'm free.
yeah,
But keeping like a good audience is awesome. So I hit decline all the time. I try to keep it like English speaking, which I see no problem with. Most people, if you can speak English, that's great. But I see like all these other groups you jump into are just like it's crazy. There's no administration. There's like click here for free Bitcoin, do this thing, X, Y, Z, just really spammy stuff. So I wanted to not have that. I wanted something that was kind of for professionals. It wasn't, consumer grade, like reboot the router,
right?
Stuff like that.
So do you look for do you look that to see that they are in the IT space at all, or do you just
sometimes usually just like an interest or something that says that you are. So I think Facebook even has like where it'll show shared groups and stuff like that. So you can see if they're on like other IT pages and stuff. But I don't have any set of rules. I just kind of go with my gut and hit accept or decline.
Right.
So.
Hey, and that, it's your group, right? It's your club. So
yeah, absolutely.
You can let people in and not let people in.
Yeah. It seems to work out well. So
cool. So once they're in there, then what do you do? So how do you set the tone for like what the group is about and what people should be doing in there?
Yeah, definitely. So at the beginning, I was really big on that, and I haven't done a lot of saying this is what this group is about lately, just because I think I got like I built like a sidebar post. So there's a really good sidebar post that kind of it gets modified over time, so if people are saying like you'll see things in the comments for sure. Somebody will say, well, you shouldn't do this on this group. So like I'm looking at mine right now. I've got like a little line item directed towards salespeople. I just say, please keep it relevant. So this isn't Craigslist, so don't post your services here. If somebody wants to, if they ask about a service and you offer it, like reach out, but I don't like that overly sales attitude. I don't think anybody does. That's something that just completely kills it. So it's setting those rules, and those rules, I mean, it's like anything else. It's kind of discretion. I don't, nothing's black or white. Like you just have to, because people will fight in comments and stuff, and sometimes you have to step in and lay down the law, I guess, or the ban hammer sometimes.
Yeah, and so I think that's important to have the rules, because it gives you something to say. If you do need to ban someone, or you do need to say, hey, what you're talking about is inappropriate, you can say, I'm doing this because the group rules are
exactly right. You can delegate it back to the rules. Absolutely. It's not my fault. That's what the rules, guys. That's what the rules say, guys.
Right, I'm just saying.
I'm
just here.
Just like
Yeah, like in the group rules there, you have some examples of good topics, and you list some things that are good topics to talk about in your group, and then some bad topics, some things that you shouldn't talk about. Like selling your services and how to fix an issue and stuff. And I think that's great, because sometimes when you say this group is for professional conversations or something like that, that's a little ambiguous,
right? Absolutely.
To give some examples, I think that's pretty clever. That's cool.
And we don't all the time, like if there's a support topic, it kind of depends. Like, what is a support topic? Our product recommendations, is that a support topic? Okay, well, what if I want to know? So it's like anything else, kind of discretion based.
So has anything kind of gotten out of hand or gotten away with you in the group where you're like,
all the time.
Yeah.
I can't say like a specific instance, but there might be like a weekend that I'm just busy or something, and then I'll check my phone after not checking Facebook in forever, and I'm like tagged in a post, and like there's a bunch of stuff flagged, and these guys are just like talking smack to each other. It gets violent sometimes. So
especially IT techs can be a rowdy bunch.
Oh, absolutely. And sometimes I'll reach out to the person and just be like, hey, what are you doing?
Yep. I think that's a good move. I do that often too. If someone might be like towing the line of the rules in the group, they've been a good contributor, but they cross the line a little bit into too promotional. I'll go ahead and shoot them an instant message or something. And let them know. And every time I do that, they're like, "Oh, cool! I didn't realize," or maybe they were trying to do like you and just see how far they could push it. And so I let them know, and they seem cool with that. And I haven't had too many big blowups in my group. And the couple times I have, there's been a couple posts I've had to delete because it was just outright blatant promotion.
Right.
And a couple other, like, it's gotten a little political and stuff. And that's another question. How, if something starts to get off topic and people start getting into politics or something like that, do you tend to let that go a little bit, or do you cut it off right away? What are you?
I haven't even seen that that's been an issue.
Yeah.
I'm curious now. I want to search Trump to see. There's really not a lot. I just searched that, and there's 3 posts, and one is literally Trump in the context of like, oh, this Trump's that. I haven't seen a lot of political conversation, honestly. People love to get fired up about that stuff. But
yes.
Yeah, I keep pretty neutral on it. Try to.
Cool. Great. So let's see. We talked about how often are you in the group administrating it? Is it every day? Is it a couple times a week?
Yeah, definitely. I see stuff on my feed, and I check Facebook a lot. So generally, it's about every day. Like when the requests come in, like I said, I'm kind of lazy with those. I don't know if that has any effect on growth or anything like that. But I just let them build up, and I might accept requests like twice a week. It's pretty easy that way.
Right.
So yeah. Try and stay active.
Cool. Do you do anything inside the group to keep people talking? It seems like people pretty much are just kind of posting on their own.
Yeah, I used to, but I've gotten honestly really lazy with it, and people keep it alive pretty well. Facebook added like a great feature for groups. It's group insights. So you can go in and see like how many people are joining. Is it less than last month? Are people making topics and stuff? But I've seen just great discussion. So sometimes I'll post stuff. I used to do like themed days, like Tuesday, complain about what's going on at work or something like that.
Right. It's a lot of work to keep up with those.
Absolutely, it is.
Days. I've been doing that as long as I've been running the marketing group, and I think I'm going to stop after this year, just because especially after doing it for a year, I've like ran out of ideas.
You're pretty active on there. I love like the different graphics and stuff you use. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about some things to do this coming year. Maybe not every day, but just kind of some conversation starters. Not as structured. Cool. So, any other tips you have to like keep the group active or keep it?
Definitely.
In line.
I think good administration, and just kind of if you have a few people that might have more time to administrate, or you see that are really active, you can assign people like admin roles and stuff just to see how stuff's going. And usually they'll message you like, "Hey, this crazy thing's happening," or "This is out of control."
That's super important, especially so that you don't have to constantly feel like you have to check into the group.
Yeah.
If someone flags a post, or if something gets out of hand, and you're not watching it, then someone else can be there to take care of it.
Yeah, and those users that post all the time are great. They've got good advice, and they see what's going on, so it's a really great way to go.
And they're happy to be a part of it too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So that's good. I'll post news like now and again. And they do that a lot on like the IT installs page. Mm-hmm. But if I see, I think there was one. It was like channelpartners.com or something. It was about this guy who maybe deleted like all the Office 365 data for some company. And he ended up getting like sued and went bankrupt and all this crazy stuff.
Right. I saw that.
Yeah. That was like a big topic. So that's a pretty good way to keep stuff alive, I guess. Or even if you go into like group insights, I think it'll show the topics that are like most active. But I guess use idea. Lightly. Don't get like clickbaity, but you can see what people react to.
Yeah, just maybe the general type of post, whether it's sharing news or asking a question or doing a video. See what type of posts get the most engagement there, and then you can dig deeper. The topic, what topics are most interesting to people.
Absolutely, you could get pretty technical with it, I think.
Cool. What are some of your pet peeves about groups that you don't like?
Pet peeves. The one I think of immediately is just how much everybody's talking about Bitcoin. That's
Yes.
So that's kind of annoying. I guess maybe topics that are recurring like that. It's like, oh man. So that, and then this is not an IT support group. Everybody thinks they are hilarious by like making some joke about support on those pages just daily. But
Yeah.
I don't think I have.
And it's hard to avoid that because certain people will only be members of a few groups and say they don't see all this stuff going on all the different groups, and they might check Facebook once a week, so they don't know what's going on. It's kind of hard to prevent that. To a certain degree. Cool. And so one of my pet peeves for a group is over promotion. There are a couple IT groups out there that I'm a member of where it's created by a company or a consultant, and the purpose of the group is to just talk about their stuff. And that can get a little annoying, but
it gets a little salesy.
If that's the point of the group, and you're in the group to hear about that person or that company's latest stuff, then I guess that's okay.
Right.
But I feel like that's more what your page is for.
Yeah.
A business page is for talking about your business. A group is a community where you can have discussions around topics and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
Again, whatever works for you.
I don't think that's a bad idea. I've with my own groups, I've got views, so I've considered, creating some kind of side project. I obviously don't want to get salesy, but it's all about, value above sales. So kind of inform people and provide that like crazy value, and then gently push them towards your services. One group I really love is Make Money with Web Design. You might have seen.
Okay.
It's pretty awesome. So it's this Irish guy. It's like Rob Anthony O'Rourke, I think his name is. But he's got like this whole crazy story. Wasn't involved in IT or anything like that. And he started getting into sales and creating websites. And then he's got like this course now to teach others to do the same. He's done really well. And there's people that have done awesome just like learning about it. So he runs like really cool group for sure.
Yeah, nice. And I think there's the best thing you can do in your group to benefit your own business is to be that trusted resource and to be that the knowledgeable person and to be personable and to not be pushing your stuff all the time, because people are smart, right? If they join a group and they see you as the admin, and for example, in my group, in the header image, it says brought to you by TechSite Builder. So as soon as someone joins the group, they see who's sponsoring the group, and then that's that's pretty much the last you'll hear from it. What I like is people know it's a TechSite Builder group, even though it's not called the TechSite Builder group. So if they have a good experience with TechSite Builder, they'll mention it in the group, which is far and away more valuable than me saying how great TechSite Builder is. It's having other people say how great TechSite Builder is. And it just naturally, I don't ask them to do that. I don't say in the group, hey, this is a place to say how great TechSite Builder is. It just happens, and I think it's a result of just having a place where people feel comfortable, talking about stuff, and they know that it's a group that is sponsored by TechSite Builder, but that that's all we do with it.
Yeah.
So it's been good, and I think so. Let me ask you this: what is your eventual goal with those groups? Is there
eventual goal? I have to. Are you... No, go on. I don't think that there is one right now. I've got I've started a few different like side projects and stuff. One thing I do on the ITMSP group is collect emails, and I'll do that on the entrance. I'll let people know like, hey, if you want to subscribe to our newsletter, like cool stuff that's going on, subscribe. So I haven't done like a lot of stuff with that. I started getting into MailChimp a little bit.
So is that one of the questions you ask when people join the group?
Yeah, absolutely. Some people say no.
Okay.
Fine. Yeah, I don't know if that's terms of service. It's certainly not illegal, and they opt in. So
yeah, I don't think so.
So that's something that's something I've been playing with a little bit. So I bought a domain actually. It's like msp-buddy.com. But if you go there, it's like blank. But I thought it'd be really good because there's so many questions that you see so often, like, oh, what RMM do you guys use? What PSA do you use? What does that cost? What the so many recurring topics. It'd be really nice to have a resource that here it is, like so that's
here's all that info.
Yeah, exactly. So that's something I've been playing with a little bit, but I keep pretty busy. I get a little ADHD on it sometimes, so starting side projects.
I'm the same way. I start lots of side projects, and that's great. And then one might gain traction, and the other might fall flat, and that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
that's the way I see it.
What you're doing that is really smart, and that people who are watching this or listening to this should think about doing is you're basically just building a, some people call it a tribe, some people call it a following, whatever you call it. It's just a group of like-minded people in a particular niche or a particular space that are willingly, voluntarily saying, hey, I want to follow you. I want to be in this group. I want to give you my email address. And then
absolutely.
You don't have to have a plan or any reason to, any thought to like monetize it or any plan like that. You're just building that group, and eventually a lot of times the group will tell you what they want. Like you said, people keep asking about RMMs and those kind of PSAs and stuff, and then you're like, well, hey, why don't I create a resource for that and see what happens. And I think a lot of people try to think of the business first before they start building the group. And I think the way you're doing is great. Build the group first, and then eventually you might find a service that you can offer to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be valuable.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I phrased it a little different and just not having any direction on it. No, but I think that's a good point. I think there's definitely you hear all the time, like, don't develop the product first and then find your market. Like, find your market. I think there's kind of like that invisible hand that kind of directs what people want. If you see that recurring and there's an opportunity to provide value and do it in a great way, people really respond to that. So
yeah, and I think MSP and IT business owners can do the same thing where if there's a particular niche that you're good in, you can start a group around that. You could start a group around your local area. Just a general kind of my town, maybe it could be like a business swap kind of thing, small business owner kind of area, local small businesses. Dave Greenbaum in the Computer Business Marketing Group mentioned that he's going to start a group for people who have fallen victim to phishing scams and
I think I've heard about that.
Yeah, and I thought that was a genius idea. I mean, that's a great way for like all these people who have this shared experience to come together, and then he can share all the tips that he knows to keep them safe.
Yeah, that's a huge opportunity too. If you look at, I mean, not to get too off topic, but past few organizations I've worked at, they all have the the fake email that comes in that's disguised as phishing, but it's from the organization. Some of them are really good, and so many people click on these. So that's pretty good. I usually click on them. I'm usually just curious. So that's
just to see.
I'm not a very good. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty genius. Has he started that yet, or?
I don't think so. I think last I heard he was going to start it. But yeah, I'd like to hear from him if he's listening or watching, if he has started that group yet.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea for sure.
Awesome. So I think that's any other parting thoughts about Facebook groups?
No, I don't think so. They're a lot of fun. I've met. I mean, the Facebook groups I use more than actual Facebook. Like, I like them more than like the people I know from high school that are that you kind of know and you see in the grocery store or whatever. There's a lot of just topics and a lot of really cool people to meet, so it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a great, again, you're just getting a community of like-minded people who you can relate to a lot better, and it is you find you make new connections, you make great resources. I mean, I haven't really had to do much digging to find guests on the show because people approach me in the group and all that stuff. And then
back to like the tribe piece, that's the biggest piece of it, is that when you join, like, one of these groups, or even I started a mastermind group, or joined one rather. It's all people that go the extra mile or care enough to want to improve themselves and to learn more. So usually you find some really successful people, which is a great resource. So.
Yeah, for sure. Some mentorship opportunities there as
yes,
well.
absolutely.
Awesome. Well, great. I think that's great food for thought. I know a lot of, I posted this in the marketing group saying, think about creating a Facebook group for your business. And a lot of folks were saying, it's going to be a lot of work to administrate it. There's potential for a lot of, competitors to come in and try to steal my clients and stuff. And I think could happen, but like we were talking about, and like I said on the post in the group, if you set the tone of the group well and you put in some good rules and then you enforce those rules, you don't usually run into that too often. It might happen at first, people trying to push the line a little bit and see what they can get away with, and you just make sure to let them know that they can't get away with that stuff and block them if they keep trying, and eventually it calms down and you get a great community. Cool.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
If people wanted to reach out to you and, join your groups or find out more about you, I put the links to the groups in the show notes. Any other place people can go?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm on Facebook. It's just facebook.com/Stets and then 10. That's probably the best way to reach me. So.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds like you're all in on Facebook.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
That's where you hang out. Yep, I'm a big fan as well. Okay, cool. So we're going to do a quick sponsor message, and then after that, I want to get your opinion on a recent post that we had in the Facebook group. So stick around. All right, guys. So I actually forgot to do the sponsor message at the beginning, so I'm going to do kind of a dual sponsor message, but I'm going to make it really quick. We have two sponsors for this episode. It's TechSite Builder. You guys know TechSite Builder. That's the place you can go to get a website up and running for your computer business. TechSite Builder is perfect for anyone who is tired or doesn't have the time to set up their own website. You're fighting with WordPress, you're fighting with plugins, you're fighting with your host. Things are crashing, things are getting hacked. All that stuff can be a pain if you don't have the time to think about it or worry about it. Let us at TechSite Builder worry about it. But we allow you to still build out your website and make it how you want to make it. So if you sign up for TechSite Builder, we give you the tools and the platform to build your own website. And then it's up to you if you want to build it. You can. Otherwise, you can let us build it for you. And we give you a really clean and professional looking website. We give you all the things you need as a computer business owner and none of the things you don't. Some of the comments I've gotten from TechSite Builder users is that, when they used Wix or Squarespace or some of these other solutions that are out there, they were just overwhelmed by all the choices they had. And there were too many things that they could do and they didn't know if they should do. And they ended up putting all this stuff on their website that they didn't need, and it got too cluttered. Whereas with TechSite Builder, we give you, a place to list your services, a nice lead capture form, testimonials, a place for your testimonials. And then if you're a local business, a nice Google map of where your business is located and some contact information. And then plenty of places to put in some content. And that's about it. An effective computer business website does not need to be complicated. It's not rocket science, right? It needs to be clean and effective, mobile optimized, secure, fast. All that stuff TechSite Builder can do for you. So go ahead and check it out at techsitebuilder.com. Also, really quick, just wanted to mention Computer Business Breakthrough. That's the other sponsor of the show, and that is a place you can go to accelerate your IT business. So we call it the Business Acceleration Training for IT Entrepreneurs. It'll teach you how to double down and multiply your efforts around a particular niche. So if you want to, focus in like Stetson is on Cisco networking, or like me, WordPress websites, or like our other trainer, Lisa Hendrickson on Office 365 or Outlook, any kind of specialization you want to do, we teach you how to become the go-to guru for that particular thing. So we'll talk about how to focus in on a niche and grow, maximize your growth in that niche. We'll talk about how to set prices so that you're seen as a premium consultant and that you don't have to go chasing clients left and right. You can have just a couple really good clients pay you very well, and then you're set, and you don't have to worry about constantly marketing and constantly trying to find the next client. Then we'll talk about how to deliver your service like a premium consultant. So we'll talk about, smooth appointment booking and smooth onboarding and how to just wow your clients so they have they're just blown away by your service. And that's just the first 3 sessions. We have 10 sessions in this training. So we talk about how to choose strategic partners, how to set up your website effectively, how to market your business through blogging and webinars and videos and podcasting, and then how to run your business on the back end so that it's built for scale. All of that stuff we talk about in Computer Business Breakthrough. Check it out. There's over 20 hours of video content, so you can pretty much, spend the rest of the year or next year soaking in all the information in the training and then putting it to good use. So check that out at computerbusinessbreakthrough.com. All right, guys, so let's bring back Stetson here, and let's take a look at some of the one. Actually, I just want to focus on one in particular. It was a post in the Computer Business Marketing Facebook group that someone just posted today that I thought was a really cool question, and this was from Jerry. So Jerry asked, if you could choose only 3 marketing tactics for 2018, what would you choose? And I like that because it forces you to think about what would be the most effective marketing because you're limiting it to only 3. What would you choose? And then and you're thinking ahead, right? So this is next year. What do you think is going to be most effective next year? So some answers people gave. Facebook ads is a big one. A lot of people saying Facebook ads. Email marketing is another big one. A lot of people mentioning email marketing. Some folks saying LinkedIn. Some folks saying Pinterest. So there's a fight between some of the different social media outlets. Which one is the best? I would say, if you're talking about like a marketing tactic, I would kind of lump all social media in together and say just focus on social media if that's one of the ones you want to focus on. Some folks said SEO. Quite a few people said networking and speaking. So that can be a pretty good one as well. I know folks have had success on that. With speaking, that's something you have to get into and kind of build up to it. And you have to find places to speak and that kind of thing. But that's worth pursuing, I think, for sure. Let's see, some people said blogging, and some other things. So what I said, my 3 were Facebook ads. I think of all the PPC options you have out there, pay-per-click, Facebook ads are the best because you can focus in on a narrow demographic, and you can use video, you can use text, and you can kind of play around with the way it looks and stuff. And it's still relatively cheap. It's starting to get more expensive, but it's still not as expensive as like AdWords or something like that. So Facebook ads was my number 1. Number 2 is content marketing, specifically blog posting, posting on social media and using videos. So I kind of lump all of that into content marketing because, if you write a blog post, you can take that blog post, share it on social media. You can create a video around that blog post and then post the video on social media. In fact, I wanted to share recently, some of you guys might have noticed I started doing this thing called Website Wednesday, which is a video that I release every Wednesday, and I release it on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of the different social media platforms I'm on. I upload it natively. So I don't upload it to YouTube and share the link. I upload the video to Facebook, to LinkedIn, to YouTube, And because I've learned that native videos perform better on the platform than if you try to share a video from another platform. And that makes sense because the platforms want you to use their platform to share. But so I've been doing that for a few weeks now, and I've already got a client from it. So I've been posting it regularly on LinkedIn, and just the other day, someone contacted me on LinkedIn saying they saw my video, and they wanted to reach out to me to help them build their website. So I didn't even expect it to have an effect that quickly. But within just a couple weeks of posting a video once a week, and it's a short video, 2 minutes, with just, very basic tips on how to keep your website effective. It's not really the content of the video that's as important as just the fact that I'm getting out there in front of people saying, hey, I'm an expert. I know what I'm talking about. You might not even understand what I'm talking about, but I sound like I know what I'm talking about with websites. And so that just kind of keeps you in front of people, and people are going to see you. And I already got a client out of it. So that's been very successful for me. And then the third thing I mentioned was SEO. And I kind of went back and forth in my head between SEO and email marketing. I think both are important. I think for computer businesses, SEO is more important than email marketing, because a lot of times people who are looking for IT support are have an immediate need. So they're searching in Google for, someone to fix my laptop, or virus removal or something like that. And so if you have a good SEO game, then you're going to be able to show up for those searches in your local area for that. And I think that's more important for IT shops than email marketing, which is more like someone lands on your website and then they give you their email address, and then you got to worry about having some kind of compelling reason for people to give you their email address. I'm definitely, and again, you have to choose three, right? So a close fourth is email marketing. It's definitely not, I don't think it's either or. I think you definitely should be doing email marketing as well. But if I had to pick three, those would be the three: Facebook ads, content marketing, and SEO. I'd love to get your thoughts on this, Stetson. What do you think? What would be your top three?
Yeah, definitely. I was just kind of thinking on that while you were speaking. I think it really depends on what you do. So
for your business,
yeah.
So say you're coming up with your marketing plan, because this is something you're probably going to be doing, coming up with your marketing plan for 2018 for Helios, and you are trying to offer networking support for small businesses or other MSPs. What would be your go-to marketing tactics?
Yeah, definitely. And you're right. That's something I'll be focusing on. Something I've been playing with a little bit, I have no idea if it'll be helpful, but is Quora. If you've seen that, it's essentially different topics. People will ask questions, and then you can subscribe to like the feed of questions, and then kind of jump in and give them an answer. So it might be for you, web design. I saw one today. It was like, how many H1 tags can I put on a page or something? There's a lot of ones that I just like, what? Nice. This I'll answer like, this makes no sense at all. Yeah. But I think there's ones that are really valuable.
Interesting.
That make a lot of sense. So I've been starting to get into that a little bit. I don't know if it'll be helpful. But I think
I've heard that can be helpful, especially if you're in a niche, some kind of technical niche. What would you call that type of marketing? Is that like question answering?
I don't know. It's kind of social media, but not. Yeah, it's kind of weird. But I think that would go along a lot with me with kind of being an authority on a subject. I think it's really good for building that out, and then having further conversations. So that's a good opportunity. Speaking opportunities, I think, would be really good. I haven't done a lot of blogging, but I think that's awesome just because it works while you sleep. It's there. People can see it all the time. It's kind of that like legacy system that exists.
Right.
So I think that can be really well. And I need to get on it myself. It's kind of hard to get into if you start looking, if you look for like SEO on Google. I feel like there's so much stuff that's just not good information or overwhelming.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of...
I think, blogging is kind of an SEO strategy on its own, right? If you're blogging about topics that are of interest to your potential clients, as long as, you're putting it in the header and adding it throughout the content, and you're not really just even trying to think too much about SEO. You're just trying to make helpful content. That helps your SEO, and you do that consistently, and you have a lot of content that can definitely help. So a lot of these kind of feed off of each other, and you do social media can feed back into your website, and doing the blogs feedback to social media, and so it's all kind of everything just is a snowball. So yeah, I mean, just getting started with blogging and not worrying too much about, is the topic, SEO friendly, or is it going to resonate? Because what I found from blogging, because I started blogging way back, 7 years ago when I started my business, my IT consulting business, is it's one of those things where you got to do it to get better at it. So it's going to suck, and no one's going to read your blog posts for a while. And it feels like you're just, throwing blog posts out into, the darkness, and nothing happens. But eventually, again, you get better at it, and you start to learn the ins and outs of it. And then people start reading, and then you start building a following, and it can take months or years for that to happen. It's a long game, but it eventually does start happening. And like you said, those blog posts are there forever, so people could go back and find them. But they're not going to be there forever if you don't start. So
yeah,
you definitely got to start somewhere.
I'm a fan of like kind of how-to content.
Yeah.
So like I think that's really helpful. I don't know how you exactly apply it, but I think if you can find something that people really have that kind of pain point on, that are searching all the time and there's not a solution. So like I'll make a reference, my YouTube channel, like my personal YouTube channel, I don't use it for marketing or anything like that. But I recently got a Nintendo Switch, like when that came out, and I couldn't figure out how to connect. There's like this controller that would connect to it. So I made a video on, like, I finally figured out I had to get all these different blogs up and stuff. It was really annoying. I finally figured it out. I made like this 3-minute video just with my phone because I wanted to like solve that. And it got like 15,000 views. I was really like impressed. Like, what?
Wow.
Like, yeah, which isn't, I mean, that's not insane, but it's more than more than I would have expected, I guess.
Yeah, and that's that's a good point. And you mentioned something like I don't remember in the context what context you said it in, but you're like, I want to make sure that it's unique, or it's not already out there, or someone hasn't already answered the question. But I would say it doesn't even matter if someone's already answered the question, or there's already a how-to for that, because you're giving your own unique spin on it. And just like the Facebook groups, right? There can never, every time that the same question is answered by a different person, it might resonate with someone in a different way. So even if, you feel like it's a topic that's been answered 1,000 times before, go ahead and give your own answer to it. Give your own walkthrough about it. And, who knows?
Yeah,
that might be the one that resonates with the most people and becomes popular.
Yeah, that's a great topic, and that makes me even think of like, you can think of that in business as well. Any kind of service, I think a lot of people have maybe like the imposter syndrome of like, well, why would somebody buy this? Like, you can already buy this thing. It might be web hosting or web design, something like that. But there's always that unique spin, and there's always something unique you can do for the customer to provide that value. So excellent, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people get hung up on that, like, oh, everyone's done this before, or there's 1,000 people doing this. Why should I do it? And you are what makes your business unique, and you are what makes your services unique, even if it's services that have been done before, or questions that have been, or blog topics that have been written before. You are the X factor, right? And so just throw your personality into it, and it usually works out pretty well. Awesome. Well, that's our time for the show. I appreciate your insights, and it's great to talk to someone who's just getting started with this stuff and has kind of fresh ideas and fresh insights. And I know a lot of people, I'm sure you've seen this, a lot of people in our industry tend to get senile and jaded and
absolutely.
Overly sarcastic and stuff. And so I love working with folks who are just getting started, because you're excited about everything, and you haven't been jaded yet. And
yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for having me on. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for being here. Folks, definitely check out Stetson's Facebook groups, IT MSP Entrepreneurs, and this is an IT support group, and we'll have links to those in the show notes as well. So we'll let's keep in touch, and of course we're in each other's groups, and so we'll see how it's going, and love to have you back maybe next year to talk about how your business is going.
Absolutely. Sounds good.
All right. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Computer Business Marketing Show. Let's keep the conversation going. So first of all, you can head over to the Facebook group that we talked about, Computer Business Marketing. So just search for Computer Business Marketing in Facebook, or type in facebook.com/groups/Computer Business Marketing, all one word, and you can find it there. Also head on over to the website, computerbusinessmarketing.com. That's where you can find all the links that are mentioned in the show notes. Also, it's the holidays. So we have, if you want to support the podcast and the live stream and the video show and all of that stuff, consider heading over to Computer Business Marketing and using the Amazon link. So we have an Amazon banner there on the page. Just click on that. It'll take you to Amazon, and then you can do your Christmas shopping and you pay whatever you would normally pay with Amazon, and then it just throws us a little bit of a commission back as an affiliate. And that'll, help us help the show, keep the show going, help to pay for hosting and all that stuff, and it really costs you nothing. So would appreciate that. If you want to help out the show, you can do that. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes or Stitcher, and then leave a review. We love to hear the reviews. We haven't gotten a new one in a little bit, so head on over to wherever you listen to the show. If you listen to the podcast somewhere, whether it's iTunes or Stitcher, or I don't think you can leave, and this sucks, but I don't think you can leave a review on Google Play. People have asked, like, how do I leave a review? And I don't think there's a way to do that, which is weird. But iTunes and Stitcher you can, or whatever other podcasting channel that you found this podcast through. Go ahead and leave a review. Let us know what you think. And finally, don't forget to check out our sponsors, TechSiteBuilder.com and ComputerBusinessBreakthrough.com. Thanks for listening to the Computer Business Marketing Show. My name is Matthew Rodella, saying here's to your success.